gonna start our new panel. These are all our panels we have been working on. So far I have 4. We're gonna start a new one. I'm getting my other skein of red out. I thought I had it all out, sitting out, but apparently I don't. I gotta pull y'all up on my other camera. I mean on my computer. Give me just a second. Mm. I hope you guys are doing well on today. I'm almost there. And I forgot to put on my gloves. I don't know what I did with them. Oh, here they are. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are new here, I'm Doe. I typically go live every Saturday at 8 p.m. Central. A little hot. And we've been working on this baby blanket. I'm trying to find where can I find the middle. Where do I? Oh, okay. This is the right side up, so maybe it'll work this way. Hey, Marshall, how are you? Uh, I thought they would have pulled out better. I haven't really had any issues pulling it out this game, but apparently I'm having one today. I ain't got nobody wrapping tool or nothing. I'm just here, just in just doing stuff. All right, I'm gonna cut this um, for the simple fact that it's a factory knot, and I don't want to fool with it, so I'm just gonna cut it loose. Hey Thanos, how are you? That's good. You're doing good. I'm doing well. And thanks for asking. I think I lost my. I put everything up yesterday, and I left out of this shed. And I was like, I'm gonna go in the house and do some work, and apparently I didn't do that. So you know how that goes. So that's why I'm kind of like a little all over the place. Good evening, Shamika. I think I'm gonna leave this part on there because it's not really hurting me. I'm gonna need that in later on though. So we're gonna thread this yarn, take a tapestry needle, thread this yarn and drop it down through there. It might not drop down through there easily because um, the thickness of the yarn, but we'll see. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. See? Yeah. Let's see. What can I stick down through here to make it go push down? So I don't feel like looking for a whole lot of stuff. Come on. I don't want to have to find the other needle, but apparently I am. Thank you, Alicia. Hello from Arkansas. Neighbor. We're close. We're across the street neighbors. I don't know why I can't, like, I can't find nothing tonight. What am I doing? Where did I think I was going? No, it's just one of them days. That looks like a whole big mess over there with the way that yarn came out of this game, but we're gonna work with it. So what I'm doing tonight is I'm still working on the middle of the blanket. Right here I have four panels so far, and I got to get 7 done. And I only work on them while I'm on live. So typically, I get most of a panel done in one night. So that's what I'm doing. In case you're wondering, I typically make my blankets all in one, but with this one, it's an experiment. Typically, um, blankets, the variegation of the colors come out horizontal, and so I decided to do panels because I want them to come out vertical. So I'm just trying to see how that's going to look after the fact. But this is a lot of work, so I don't know if I'll ever attempt doing this again. Basically, it's is where I'm coming from with that. So yeah, I'm not interested in extra work, but I do want to do a tube panel because I know if I do a tube panel, I won't have to do the garter stitch. So I'm thinking about doing that as well. So I might find that more interesting. And if you notice, I have a stitch marker. This is a Loom knit stitch marker down here on this other end. And I have a stitch marker down there because when I go this direction, I'm going to do purl stitching. But when I come back from this direction, it's east stitching. So you always do certain stitches in a certain direction. So I have this down here to remind me that I'm supposed to do an E stitch back this way. So when I start my blankets to keep it from curling, I typically do a, a garter stitch border. So I'm going to kind of lay that out there so you guys can see that as well. So I typically do like 7, but the magic number is 5. And also, if you just notice, when I went back this direction, I didn't wrap that first peg because I typically don't wrap the first peg of an E-stitch row. But when I'm doing the pearl stitch row, I am going to go back and wrap all of the pegs because I'm doing a pearl stitch row and I don't pearl on the first or the last peg. I know that's a lot of information, but I'm just trying to, give you guys a gist of what I have going on because I'm about to do all of that stuff on camera. And if you didn't like quite understand, you can always ask me again. I don't mind repeating. But as you just saw, I skipped. This is technically like a loom knit slip stitch. So I slip stitched this peg, and I started working my purl stitches onto the second peg from the beginning. So we're gonna do it all the way up until the next to last peg. And then when I do my E-stitch row, I'm gonna I'm gonna do all the pegs. Now, if I were doing like all E-stitch on the blanket, I would just skip that first stitch. So I would still skip it in a typical um, work that I'm doing if it's flat panel. But since I'm doing 2 different stitches, that's how I do my rows. So you will also notice that um, this, you didn't probably not really notice, but When you're doing a garter stitch, the first stitch is E-stitch, one row, and then the second row is all purl stitch, and that combination creates the garter stitch. So that's what I'm doing currently. Then I'm getting ready to start making my notes. So that is one garter stitch, technically 2 rows. So this is my note for garter stitches. And then do an E-stitch row now. Wrap that first peg, wrap the second peg, and so on. This is called knitting off. I typically knit off first the last peg that I wrap, then I start over at the beginning peg where I started off wrapping the peg at. I do my blankets in sequences so that I can like remember what I'm supposed to do just in case I get distracted. I have ADHD, so I often get distracted and I have to do blankets in sequences. So that way, when I do something wrong, I'm like, I don't, that doesn't feel right, if I do something wrong. So, because I clock out mentally because my mind is always on the go. So, I have to be careful and just do a sequence and I don't have to do this with all my Loom projects, but since this is different, I have to keep up with everything. I'm used to everything taking such a long process, like a row of purl stitches taking several hours versus it taking like 3 minutes right now to do. So I had to get used to that as well. I'm getting sick of that little piece. It won't come off. Okay, I'm doing the purl stitch row. Remember, I'm going this direction, so it'll be purl stitch. Alright, we made it to the next to last peg. I'm purl stitch on the next to last peg. This would count as 2 garter stitches since I've just completed my second row of purl stitch. And wrap, since we're going back this way, we're going E-stitch. So I'm going to wrap that first peg and then wrap all the way back. And a lot of people think that you can only wrap clockwise on your loom, but as you just saw, you can wrap both clockwise and counterclockwise. So just as long as your loop is on this side of your loom instead of facing the inside, it will always turn out to be an E-stitch. So now we're going to do the purl stitch. And if you just notice, the wrapping tool does not help with the purl stitch, and it typically only really helps with the E-stitch. So in regards to that, the loom is good for people with arthritis, as I have arthritis. When it comes to E-stitching, it's less straining on your hands. So if you want to do like all your projects in E-stitch, there's a way you can do that. You just got to put in a little bit more extra work. And the magic number for garter stitches, I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, is 5. But I'm going to do 7. I do 7 on all my blankets. Yes, I'm connecting them to make a blanket. Part of me is second guessing and just want to just be done with it and say these are scarves. That's where I'm at right now. I'm just like, this is scarf. I'm done. I'm trying not to like shut down and be like, this is good enough. Cause I know it's gonna be like a work to get done once I get done because it's harder to find when you're using blanket yarn. It's harder to find the stitches where they start and stop. So that's what's gonna I know it'll be the battle once I get done. That little piece just still staying there. It won't get off my. There it goes. It's off my finger now. And once I get past this part, everything is gonna pretty much speed up. I just gotta make it past the purl stitch part. And most loomers do not like the purl stitch. I don't do the true knit stitch often, but I want to start putting it more in my projects too. And I was mostly making blankets. I've mostly made blankets the past 3 years or so, and so I'm kind of like in a mood to like branch out this year. So this year I'm gonna try and make my first sweater on the loom, and I want to pick the needles back up because I started off with the knitting needles and switched to loom. So I want to be well versed in all aspects of the things that I can do. But I can do like pearl stitching and the stockinette stitch on the needles. Hi Mallory, how are you? I that's the garter stitch. So that's the only thing. When I do my edges, I do a garter stitch, and that makes it look cleaner. Yes, I crochet too. I've been crocheting for about 2.5 years now, and I've been loom knitting for about 10 years, and that's about the same amount of time I've been knitting because it's after I learned um, loom knitting. I mean, shortly after I learned knitting, I picked up looming, so it's like several months later. But this is something I crocheted, so yeah, I do crocheting too. So what I'm doing now is what I do to like get the border and everything together. The way this yarn came out of this game. You said UST. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, we started around the same time. I actually I attempted like on and off, and it was because I learned knitting first. It took me 5 years inconsistently trying to pick up crochet. So the way I was able to pick up crocheting, you gotta find something like that really intrigues you that you want to do like really bad. Like I didn't want to do it as bad until I realized, oh, those plushies, the amigurumi, I hope I'm saying it right, that everybody's making is crochet, and I'm like, oh, those are so cute, and I'm a big kid, so I really love to make those instead of like all this kind of stuff. But I like making baby stuff too. But I really love making the plushies, and so that's what helped me to focus in, because it was really the ADHD and trying to process, like, the difference between knitting and crocheting at the time. But after I picked up and learned the magic circle, I was able to pick up and learn how to chain and all that stuff. Because that was the thing I was stuck on, was chaining. Thank y'all for the likes. You gonna do some crocheting? Yeah, like right now, I'm making. If I got it in here with me, I'm making a crochet hoodie. I'm working on two crochet beanies. I'm making a crochet doll, and I'm loom knitting a beanie and loom knitting a blanket. And something else I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be crocheting a chicken. Yeah. And I feel, oh, some crochet footies. I'm supposed to be making some crochet footies too. The when you do your edges, a lot of people do that. When you do your edges, because I did that when I first started too. You have to chain, like if you're doing single crochet, when you make it to the end, you have to chain one and then turn your work to keep the edges even. And then, like if you're doing like half double crochet or double crochet, you would do like you'll chain two and then turn your work. And then if you're doing like treble crochet, you would chain three and then turn your work. Are you saying you don't? Are you saying you're trying to figure out crocheting, Mallory? Me too. That and loom knitting, I love it all equally. I really want to pick my knitting needles back up. I've had a project on there for like 6 months or so. I call myself, going back last year, but everything else, I'm used to this and I'm used to crocheting, so it was just easier for me to just pick up a loom and a crochet hook and just get to going. Cause I'm still slow and basic when it comes to knitting. You're not doing any of those ruffle hats everybody is into, or those ruffle footies, and maybe some beanies. Something quick and fun. This is my last row of the. I almost broke that yarn. This is my last row. Not this one, but the row. Two rows after that will be my last rows of garter stitch. No, this is the last row. I told you I'd be overthinking sometimes, and sometimes I have to catch myself. The only negative thing about the panels, which is very, very annoying is that I have to count. Typically with Lumen, I don't have to count unless I'm doing like a specific project. But I don't have to count, and I hate counting. And I know that's done a lot in crochet or maybe the knitting needles as well. But I like working on the loom because I mostly do things that I don't have to count with. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. That some hats, some footies, some the ruffle hats are really popular. They're still popular. Um, People tend to like crochet towels and stuff like that, or pot holders. What I just showed you on the camera, those are actually popular. They work really well on dishes. So with that, I would double up the 4-way yarn. So I would say use 4-way yarn still to practice with, but double it up because you can take like the two ends of the skein instead of buying two skeins. 'Cause I know some people are going to buy two skeins because they're like, I need to double it up. But all you have to do is take the beginning end and the end of your yarn, put them together, and double it up that way. And so that'll make it easier for you to practice with. And that way you can see all the stitches. Okay, Mallory. So the reason why I said that instead because if you try to work with number 5 yarn too, number 5 yarn or double up number 4 would be good. Because if you try to use this or what's that yarn? If you try to use blanket yarn or velvet yarn or chenille yarn, it's gonna be harder for you to see the stitches as a beginner. So the best thing to do is to double up the 4-way or go number 5. But the number 5 is going to be more expensive. So that's why I told you to do that because, once you get used to it, you won't really need to double it up anymore. But it's still going to be like work. All right. I think I'm going this direction. Let me make sure. Yeah, we're going this direction. All right. So now I got to start counting by fives. So that was my last purl stitch. And that means I gotta do 188 rows. So if I just did that, that is 14 rows. So that's 174. And so now I gotta do 100 and I think it was 60, 160 because I gotta leave 14 rows to end my blanket. Yeah, that looks about right. All right, so now we're just gonna do straight E-stitching because we're doing the middle of the blanket. If you notice this one right here, this is the outside border of the blanket, and so it has garter stitches on this side and at the end, and this is all E-stitch. So the E-stitch is looser than the garter stitch, so that's why you see like these waves going. And I'm gonna further show you why I showed you that. Okay, Mallory, welcome back. And okay, so y'all see that, and when you get to here, just in case you want to be someone that tries this out, I'm just trying to explain a couple of things that's gonna happen. Okay, so I told you the E stitch is looser than the garter stitch. So your middle panels are going to be longer than your outside panels because of the garter stitch is going to shrink it in some. So this is what I'm getting ready to do right now is make a middle panel. This is what I call my middle panels. So I did the garter stitch at the beginning and end, and this is the middle part of my panel, which is going to be the middle part of the blanket. I don't really listen to K-pop. Now I have listened. I can't think of their name right now. I usually can't think of anybody's name like on the spot. Um, I can't think of that group that came out in like mid pandemic or got popular during pandemic. I'm trying to put it where the stitches stay on the outside. I'll leave this right there. Yes, BTS. I've listened to a little of their music, but you know. Hey, to Ty. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I'm making panels for a baby blanket. It's solely for experiment and leisure time during live. It's not a gift. It's just something I'm doing because I'm like, do I want to do this in the future or no? All right, so we're all e-stitching. Now I need to keep up with my rows, and because I have ADHD, it is hard for me to go past the number 5 because for one thing, I'm doing like a short panel, and I'm used to doing something like 7 times this length, and so it's happened right now. I'm so used to that this is happening really fast. So I tend to like forget to count because I'm my mind is like, we're still going, So that's what I'm gonna have to do to keep up. That's why I say I don't really like counting. It's best for me to just count in 5. Okay. What you gonna crochet? Did you decide on what you gonna crochet? Alright, so now that I'm doing all E-stitch, I am skipping that first peg as I discussed earlier because all of this area is going to be E-stitch. So that's 2. I'm going to show you 2 different ways in which I put stitch markers on here. So I'm going to use the stitch markers that you typically see in crochet, and I'm going to use some yarn so I can, show you guys that you don't necessarily have to have them to be able to keep up with your stitches too. So that was number 3. But you have to use awesome. I have not made one of those yet, and I need to. Because somebody was asking me to make them one too, so I was like, yeah, I probably need to try and start making those. I think this is row 4. Uh-oh. Usually when I'm alone, I try to say something funny to help me remember. So I might start doing that while I'm on live just to kind of keep up with the number of rows. Oh, yes. I want to make one of those too. And one year I had a friend, she made a hooded infinity scarf, and I was just so infatuated with it. but I never got around to making it. And I saw that like 2 years ago, and I was so amazed. I think this is 5. So I want to put that. I'm gonna put the yarn right here first, so you guys can see it. And I want to put a contrasting color because um, the yarn is dark. So I want to use a dark yarn. No, I haven't seen Squid Game before, but I'm right now. I'm currently watching Amazing Woo, Amazing Young, Amazing. Um, I think it's called. Yeah, Amazing Attorney Woo. So I'm watching something K-pop ish. So I've just kind of started getting into things like that. All right, so this is my stitch marker for 5. What you mean twos? Where is twos? Yeah, like I when I and I just started it. I think it was I can't remember. It was sometime this week. I was on Netflix just scrolling because I like a lot of different my guilty pleasure is royal stuff like Bridgerton and all that stuff. Those are my guilty pleasures. But like what I was getting at is that it popped up on my feed and I had never seen it before and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And so I was watching it and I was like, oh, that's cool. The more it went on, I was like, oh, this is really cool. I like this. So it has been a really good show. It has had some very sad scenes in it. I like the fact that I don't have to worry about somebody getting ready to sleep with each other or call people all type of names or or unalive people. So the show is not about unaliving people, even though she's an attorney and they go to court and everything. I like that aspect that it feels more, I don't have to intake all that extra stuff just to watch something that's really good. And like the drama is there, and I don't have to be traumatized by somebody unaliving somebody or doing something really crazy to other people. It's like good, wholesome people. Like throughout the show, there's only been one person that passed away, and he didn't pass away from, getting unalived. So seeing one out the package. Are you saying you have some? And by the way, hello Heather. I was supposed to speak first before I responded. But yeah, so I like a amazing attorney Woo. It's really good. And she's an attorney with a learning disability, so that's what draws me in even more. And then I'm a very big nature person, wildlife person. She whales and whale sounds and stuff like that, they calm her down when she's like having like a panic attack from her I don't want to say disability, but you know that's what I got to say right now because I can't think of the other word. But that's what happens when she's stressed, and so she listens to whale sounds, so that attracted me even more. Yeah, she got autism. Yeah, I was trying to say I wouldn't I didn't want to like necessarily say autism either, because you know if different people with a lot of different people with disabilities can experience like you know different things, but I was trying to say I was trying to find a better word for disability. Right. So yeah, but yeah. And so it's just been a really interesting show to say the least. She even though she um faces adversities. That's what I wanted to say. Something like that. When she faces adversity, um she she's been handling it like really well, and she's actually falling in love and everything, and the person that she's falling for is falling for her back. So I'm just I'm just really into this into this show. So yeah, 2 3 that's 3. And I've been watching it before I go to bed. So after I get off live, I go and watch an episode of it, and then I go to sleep. I'm sorry to hear that, Mallory. My husband does too. Yes, I would. I have rheumatoid arthritis and overactive wrist, and I have a pinched nerve in my right shoulder and arthritis in my neck. And I'm yeah. And this is what I like to do in my spare time. But I would recommend that you stick to most of your projects. I would recommend that you try to stick mostly to e-stitching, so that would help. Cause I know when I do like tighter stitches and do the pearl stitching stuff, that bothers my hand even more. But it is not so bad with e-stitching if you know how to like you over time you'll get so comfortable that you'll be able to avoid the tension of your stitches. So that's what I recommend. Oh wow, Mallory. I think that's 4. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, and so I'm gonna show you something complex real quick, Kathleen. But I don't want to remove what I'm doing, but I'm gonna show you something more complex about this loom. So you can flat panel this loom, or you can double knit. If you flat panel, it's a little bit more work because you're gonna have to like do stitches like this to keep it from curling up. But you can do a figure 8 stitch and do double knit and work up a scarf faster than that. So if I were double knitting, I would do this because pretend none of this is here, and this is my my slip knot right here. So I'm gonna cast that on, and I'm gonna go over to this one on the right side and bring my hook back around. I mean, bring my wrapping tool back around that way. Go over to the second one, wrap it. You always going to the right side of each peg. And so if I were doing like a scarf, this is my favorite way to make a scarf. And that's double knitting. And so when you double knit, you're gonna push all of this down. Take unwrap this because I only wrapped it like this so it'll hold on to there. And so you're gonna go back. Okay, you're gonna go straight across. So when you come back this direction, you're gonna go straight across, and everything is going to. I'm trying to remember what I'm doing first. I got a little distracted because some extra things down there. All right, so let's do this over. All right, got it pushed down, and this was wrapped. So you're gonna bring it straight across, take it back this way, around this way, and go to the left side of every peg and wrapping. And this is just like the repetitious step that you would take to make a scarf, what I just literally did. And just start knitting all those off. Ignore that third one down there. But you'll go like this and start knitting them all off. And it's not going to be tight because of the way the double knit is made. And I'll show you, and I got a piece back here I could show y'all real quick. Let me take this off because it's not want to go back the way I want it to. I love, love, love giving demos. All right, so that'll be how you would do that. I want to get a piece out that I have back there that'll show you what double knit looks like. And I got two different pieces. So this is number 6 yarn double weight, and I misplaced the other one I had. I had a number 5 one, but I don't know what I did with it for right now. And this is a number 4. So I do my number 4s on this loom too. Although I have this one. I have this one for scarves too. So that's a smaller gauge than this one is. But I like doing my 4s on here because it makes it so stretchy. Like, you know, I like to wrap it around like about 5 different times around my neck. And so that's, thank you. So it's a lot. People don't realize, like, you can do a lot with looms. I know this year I've been studying a sweater for a year and a half now, and I'm like, I'm going to make that sweater. If it's the last thing I do, I'm gonna make this sweater this year. Thank you, Amy. I'm sorry if I miss you, Alicia. Hey, how are you? So this is my 5th row. So I'm, instead of using a piece of yarn because they're more annoying than anything, I'm going to use, and I wrapped this backwards. I accidentally wrapped it the wrong way. All right. And I think it's because I just got through figure 8 wrapping. So I threw myself off. All right. What did I do with my hook? What are you hook? I don't think this is the hook, but it'll do. All right, so I put that on there. Let's get a stitch marker. And as long as you're using a thicker or equal grade of yarn for your stitch markers, they'll stay. But if I were to put like a number 4 yarn right here, let me find a number 4. And this is a number 5. A number 5 will work too. But if I were to put a number 4, let's see, I'm trying to find y'all a good one. If I were to put a number 4 like this, then through there, it's gonna constantly slide out unless it's long enough. So this piece right here is actually long enough for me to put it in there, but I don't want to be bothered with it, so I'm not gonna do it. So if you're wanting to do that, your piece, your string should be about 6 inches. If you want to use string for stitch markers in your looms, and just make sure that the grade stays, the grade of yarn can stay in there so you don't get lost. But right now, I'm gonna switch to using stitch markers because I forgot that yesterday that I have stitch markers. And or last week, and some of the strings kept coming out, and I'm just like, what am I doing? Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, you can use both sides, and yes, they do come in different shapes and sizes. So, this one, it depends also on what brand you use. This one is Loops and Threads, and most of their brand of looms are wide gauge. So if you put them side by side, this one is a smaller gauge than this one. And if this one is also KB. I have like about 4 different sizes of these, and let me see. Hold on, just a second. I'm not gonna go down the all of what I got because that'll be like wild. I'm just gonna pull these out real quick, and yeah. Let me see. I'm doing a maze run here. All right. So this where my other hook went to. It fell in my seat. All right. So these are KB. They make different head sizes, and of course you can make a lot of different other things with these. But typically, they make head sizes with round looms. Okay, the other thing is I got these. This came in another set. This set came together, and this is another set. So these are my baby knit looms. This teal one and this little purple one. These are my baby knit looms, and they yeah, I don't know what I was about to say, but yeah, these are my baby knit looms. Okay, so I'm gonna move these out of the way, and they are all KB. Okay, and this one was supposed to be just like for like hats and things, or something similar to twisted headbands. But I haven't been making my double knit scarves from them when I want them really tight. That's what I was gonna say about double knit scarves earlier. They work up fast because they're not gonna curl, and once you finish making them, all you have to do is tie a knot, hide the string, and that's it for like your double knit. So when I make scarves, I tend to I meant to stick to that. Okay, and then there's a lot of different brands when it comes to the round looms and the long looms, but I prefer Loops and Threads. So the ones you just saw me sit down, those are KB. I love those because they're small gauge. These, there's a lot of different wide gauge looms in the store, so that's why I want to point this one out. I like Loops and Threads by Michaels. And I like Loops and Threads by Michaels because the peg is actually part of the loom. So, like the whole loom mold is part of the loom. So, I like that. And the boy ones, if you accidentally, and then if I wrap these too tight, I'm not really concerned about these pegs breaking because these are so stiff, y'all. So I'm not concerned about breaking a peg on this loom. But however, I use wrapping tools now, so I don't have to worry about that. Back then, I didn't use wrapping tools, so that's how I kept breaking pegs. But these are one of my older ones, and as you see, these are some of the boy ones that came out of Walmart, and they are not attached to the loom. They're glued in, so they're more likely to come out. I wish I can find the one that I broke out, but I peeled off the hot glue because it wasn't gonna stay anyway. But I'll still use this because now I fixed my tension, so I'm not concerned about it breaking anymore. So I'll still use these. They're just in my storage. Hey Dan, how are you? So yeah, there's a lot. Like when I say a plethora of different kinds. Okay, so I'm gonna show you two more, and then I'm gonna leave this alone. That's good. You're doing good. So I'm gonna show you two more because they're really vastly different than any other looms. And this is the loom people typically see me working on. So this is the big one of the biggest looms, and it will go up to 5 feet in width, and there's 198 pegs on this one. I'm about to get ready to pull this one back out because I'm itching to work on a big blanket or something other than this. I'm itching to work on something different. But yeah, so this one and one more. I always got a lot going on. I'm prepping for a garden right now. Just got my list is just so long. All right, and then there is this one. This one is a wide gauge infinity loom. So you would use like number 5, number 6, or you can double up number. Sorry, the thing getting caught up in there. Or you can double up number 4 yarn on here, so it'll work just fine if you decide to do number 4 yarn. And this is by Loops and Threads, but they're also on Amazon. In my opinion about these, I'm not crazy about them. They're a little bit more flexible than that white one. The white one has some flex, and I think it naturally should. But the flex on here is a little bit more annoying. In this area, the blanket gets tighter in the curve of this area than the white one. And but I still like it because I can use thicker yarn on there and work up a blanket faster than I could on the white one. This one is just more inconvenient than the white one is, and it's just it makes it a little bit more flimsy because of that extra give. But I'm gonna say that Loops and Threads with this loom versus the Infinity loom on Amazon, there's not much difference. So you can get it from Michaels or Amazon. It's the quality to me is pretty much the same. No problem, Heather. The green one, you can make thicker cardigans on there, but you can pretty much make you can do tube socks. You can make sweaters. scarves, beanies, and all that stuff. You just have to make panels for certain things to get them done. And I want to point out that this one is going to be 5 feet as well. The yarn is just thicker, and so they're still going to end up being the same in length. So regardless of which one you get, they're going to be 5 feet. The other one, the white loom, you can use number 5 yarn on this one too, but it'll be harder. I'm sorry, number 6. You can use number 6 yarn on here too, but there may be some. You might have some issues with tension, so I will be careful. Like if you want to do it on here, just be careful and think about making sure your tension is loose. It's just thicker yarn, a way heavier blanket with between the two. So I wish the thicker blankets I normally don't keep. I normally don't keep those very long, so I don't have any thick yarn blankets. But this is like a number 4. Uh, and I don't have like a full blanket per se, but I can show you a small example. So this is number 4 that will come off that loom, and it'll be up 5 feet. And this came off one of those wide gauge long looms, but this would be pretty much what you would see coming off of that the green one, because this is like thicker yarn. Ignore this. This is because of the long loom. This part won't happen on the green loom. But yeah, so oh, awesome, Heather. Okay. But yeah, so the stitches would be different in that this is thicker pretty much. The stitches pretty much look the same. It's just thicker yarn. And that's like, let me show y'all the comparison between garter stitches because it's more straighter on this side. So this is what you see in a garter stitch on here, and this is a garter stitch on this one. Hey, Thirsty Crocheter, how are you? Um, I used, I think this was all red heart. I used the white one for this one. The white one for this one. I think that's what you meant. I'm gonna let that sit. My bad. I bumped something. I'm gonna let that sit right there because I need to get these looms put back up in their proper spaces. Because if I don't, then I'm just gonna start just laying them anywhere, and then I'm gonna be like, "Where is that loom? I just had that loom like yesterday." So I'm gonna put them back. I have a loom wall. I need to like make some more space though. So I'm walking around my table because it's not a desk. I'm walking around it trying to put this stuff back. No problem at all, y'all. Awesome, Thrifty Crochet. You finishing up a hat? No problem, Kathleen. Me too. I am. I hope everyone is too. Are you? Are you having a very good weekend? I would say this is probably like the best I've pretty much felt in a minute. So I'm having a pretty good weekend. I'm not feeling so overly exhausted the past 2 days. So I haven't made a space for these. I gotta make space for these. Let me put that down in the bag. I'm gonna fold this up, get it out the way. But yeah, anything you guys want to ask, feel free. I also want to point out that all of KB looms come with, their brand of hooks. This is the GOAT. If you are looming, and because sometimes it's the hook too. If you are looming and you're frustrated, sometimes it's the hook. Every hook has been dull except for this hook. Like, I will not use any other hooks besides KB. So they do sell them by themselves as well. So if you want to like get one, their website is knittingboard.com, and yeah, I would suggest you get a KB hook. Like, it knits off so much faster because it's so pointy that it's not hard to like grab the yarn off the hook. So yeah, I'm still trying to put up these looms. I'm about done. I'm trying to like get my shed back organized. I'm trying to create another channel. So I'm trying to make more office space on the other side of my shed. So this is like my yarn office space, and over there, I'm not quite sure. I don't want to really reveal right now, but I am working on another YouTube channel, and I need like a couch. Um, and part of me is debating on whether I would just do everything in here, and it's just extend the office just a little bit so that I can get everything on this side, because I will already have like everything set up over here. Even like the background would be better over here. So I'm debating all that. Of course, no problem at all. I'm glad to hear that, Heather. I gotta give me some water, y'all. But yeah, so like a breather. I have a lot of things that I'm working on. A lot, a lot. Thanks so much for the likes. And I still haven't fully got my other YouTube channel up and running, so there's that. So I'm not only talking about a second YouTube channel. I have a second one already. I'm talking about getting a third one. Why? I don't know. You know, it's just so much meat to spread. Excuse me. Now this second channel, I gotta try not to um I gotta try. I don't know what I was about to say. I got distracted because I had to move that other hook. Cause I was trying to figure out why did I set two hooks right there. That is one, two, three. That was 4. Come on, yarn, don't fall off the table. I don't know what I'm doing, but oh, thank you, Tony. Thanks so much for the likes. I think this is 5. Make it 5. Make it make sense. All right. It should be 5. I'm almost certain. All I can do is pray. And I like to put my stitch markers on this next to last peg because it starts to confuse me the further you go out. So, because you can't really see like those stitches in between there, but you can see that line up on the side, but you can't really see anything in there. So, I like to put them somewhere in between here or the third one, and it helps a lot. I'm making panels to mattress stitch together for a baby blanket. All right, I'm gonna fold this one back because I finished that garter stitch area and I only really had it out like that for the garter stitch. So to preview the garter stitch, I'm gonna put that back like that. Awesome, Barbara. I did the same thing after learning to after learning on the round looms. The round looms wasn't too bad. Thank you. All right, this is 1. I remember 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. 2. Terrible twos. 2, 2, and 2. I'm trying to help myself remember that I'm just finished row 2. My bad. Trying to straighten this yarn out. This is 3. We're working on 3. Triplet. Triple thread. Triplet, triple thread. Alright, so that was 3. Now I'm on a 4 for 4. A 4 for 4. be careful and not rip my glove, because that's how I ended up with a new pair. Because I got this hooked into it. 4 and 4 and 4. High five. Cool. That's what I wish I was working on right now. I'm I'm losing interest and patience for this blanket, but I want to see it through, so that's the only reason why. But I'm like, I'm ready to make. I'm gonna get started early on my children's Christmas gifts this year. So yeah, a whole almost 12 months earlier. I want to make them both a blanket. Both of their colors are red. Favorite colors are red because that's their dad's favorite color. Really. But both of their colors are red, so I have to get around to making them both um, some type of red blanket, and it has to be coordinated differently. So I have to figure that out. I like to flip my things over this way to the front. Yeah, so I want to get started on their blanket because, for one thing, I normally um, make one 5 foot wide blanket a year. And I made a 5 foot wide blanket at the end of last year. And I think spread across 6 weeks, but it really only took me about a month or so to do. And so I didn't even make one at the beginning of the year. I got a blanket custom at the end of November, and I did my best to get it to her before Christmas. So I would even take back not even 6 weeks. It's probably more like a month when I started on it. But yeah, no, it was about 6 weeks. But it was like I worked on it probably like way less than that time. But yeah, and so I would like to get their blankets made this year. That's one thing I want them to have. I think they'll really like that. And so I have it all wrapped up and packaged away and everything, and you know, and I believe I'll get it done. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that was 4, I think. I said 4. Yeah, 4. Trying to figure out why my leg is chilly. Thank you, Shatika. How are you? Yeah, that was 5. I was about to say I forgot to put the stitch marker there because my mind is speeding. Like I'm like having a 100 billion quotes. Not 100 billion, but I'm over exaggerating. Um, I got quotes going on in my mind while I'm working and trying to keep count and remember what to do. And while my brain is like, you know, I forgot the quote that I was just thinking about. And then my mind's like, oh, that's a funny thing to say. It's just moving. But yeah, this is definitely my last week working on this blanket. I'm losing interest. I would like to get it done for Valentine's Day because it's a great color scheme for Valentine's Day, and I really want to be like, yeah, here, isn't this adorable? What I really wanted to do was make a cardigan with hearts in it before Valentine's Day got here, but it's starting to look slim. But I still want to attempt it because it'll be cute during springtime too. It doesn't have to be V-Day for me to wear something red and white. Or pink and red, per se, or pink and burgundy. I'm trying to think. Hey, Symptoms of Soul. Hey, Amanda. How are y'all? 1, 2, 3. 3. 3, 3, 3. That's good. You're doing okay. I'm trying to keep up with these rows. I'm good. That's good. You're doing good. I'm collecting water bottles, soda bottles, any bottles that I can find. I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Any bottles that I can find, y'all, because last year, and I wanna it really is. It'll make you sleepy. It'll make you sleepy. Last year I saw a post of of a recycled bottle shed or something, and I wanted to make a recycled bottle greenhouse this year, and I really kind of inconsistently collected bottles last year too when I saw it, so I had to wrap my mind around how I wanted them to work. So that's kind of like that's another goal this year. And I'm trying to get my garden together. This year I want to make salsa. So right now my lemon tree is still surviving. It's in and out of the house whenever the weather permits. I take it outside. But so far it's making it. So I know you need lemon juice for it to kill the keep the bacteria at bay. Some tomatoes, possibly cucumbers, some onions, and bell peppers. Thank you, Luma Hat. I love Luma Hat. But yes, I'm working. I'm trying to next year I want to make like my own chips and everything. So I potatoes. I've learned how to grow potatoes too. So yeah. I'm just so geeking right now because Luma had commented on my live. Yes, the peppers. I've learned how to make pepper. I'm gonna grow peppers, cucumbers, tomatoes, and I just gotta conquer onions now. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Luma had awesome, Ebony. What colors are in cover story? This sounds interesting. I was looking at some yarn in Walmart today, and it was I had to leave it, y'all. I wanted it so bad, and it was a very pretty earth tone, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to go. I have to go. That day I did not get any yarn, but I did reward myself with some paint pens. So that I still left out of there with a craft, and it was not yarn, and I still did good because I got a whole lot of yarn, but I don't have any paint pens. And my husband bought me a coloring book for for Christmas, and I already have another one that I have a zillion pages in that I've kind of like quit working on. So I want to pull it back out too and use some of the paint pens and stuff in there. I think the older one was made for like paint pens and stuff. So I'm excited. I bought something else too, but I can't remember what it was. But yeah, I rewarded myself with another craft when I didn't buy yarn. But I wanted that yarn so bad. Let me make sure I'm not going past 5. Because I already, it looks like I done went past 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 5 is right here. And I sure did. I done went up two rows past. Hi, Purple Crochet. How are you doing this evening? Oh, okay. That sounds. I like that. That'd be cool. I got something. That sounds almost something like what I got back here. You see, but it's a Karen cake. Oh darn! I'm just dropping stuff on the floor. Oh. I'm just dropping stuff in the floor. But no, this is not. But it's this is supposed to be like a rainbow color, but I really don't like the red. I feel like the red could have been brighter in there. So, but this is a Karen cake. Let me set it over here somewhere. I'm so picky. That's good. You're doing good, Purple Crochet. I am very picky, y'all. I'm artistically picky. So I haven't used the yarn yet, and I've had this. If y'all remember, months ago, I posted two different blankets with there were rainbow jellies, and the red in there. That's probably why. So the cousin, the cousin to this yarn, which is they're pretty much based off each other. This one is rainbow sprinkles, and the other Karen cake, the Karen jumbo cake, is called rainbow jellies. And so the red is brighter than this one was, and so that's why I'm like I don't really like the red in this one. Okay, cool. That sounds like a fun skein to work with though. But oh, so what I was about to say, I made two different blankets with the yarn, and one was mixed with black and the other mixed with white to make clouds. And I've had this yarn, like I bought the yarn and everything, because someone was asking me for to make a bucket hat with this, and I've had this yarn for over a year, almost 2 years now. I still have not done anything with this yarn. But I really need to. And what I would probably do, I don't know, I probably shouldn't do it though, because that's just extra work. I would actually probably take out the red and replace it with a different color red. But I'm worried if I do that, is it gonna work well still with the orange? So that's my only hesitation about it. But yeah, I've had that since I've made two big blankets with the jumbo Karen cake. I'm just still like that's I'm so picky, it's ridiculous. I it's that black and white. So Red Heart has a black and white yarn, and it is the only black and white yarn that I can find that consistently flows. Like the variegation is like awesome. But the downside to it is the variegation is called newspaper. And there's like a very deep tint gray of teal in it. And that part bothers me. So I was looking for a black and white skein of yarn that that the yarn um the variegation changed well. So what I did was I cut out the gray that perfectly matched with the black and white. Um, it was a hooded scarf I was making. I cut it all off. And like I have like a big bag full of gray. Yeah, right. It throws it off to me. And now I have a big bag of gray, different grades of gray yarn in the bag because I'm just that picky when it comes to craft. Like I want it to come out like if I could get it as near to perfect as I can, I will. I will obsess over getting it near to perfect. So this is 4. I'm back to remembering. 4. Okay, and this is 5. 5 and then stitch marker. Stitch marker, stitch marker. Okay. Stitch marker here. Push all those down. So what I also do is because I misplaced a lot of my stitch markers, I do it to a certain stack of stitch markers, and then I take them like I go up to 50, and then remove the other ones so I can just recycle them. So if you're someone that has like a small collection of stitch markers as well, just recycle them throughout the blanket. So let's say I also decided, no, I'm not gonna go up to 50. I'm gonna go up to 20. So then I'm just gonna remove these 3, and now I can recycle it, every 20 stitches of the blanket. I'm making flat panels to mattress stitch together for a baby blanket. Just like now, I just did this first row so fast, and I'm like, did I put the stitch marker in the wrong spot? Like that happened kind of fast. Thank you. So now I'm gonna have to go back and double check that there was 5 in that area because now that's confused me. I confused it myself because I was talking. Hold on. Let's see. The yellow is on page 1, and that's 2, 3, that's 4, and that's 5. Yeah, that was right. It just happened so fast. I wish I were. I wish I were making a scarf at this point. I'm starting to feel like I've been on this too long. It's time to move on. So I think this week I'm gonna really put in some work on this. After tomorrow, I don't want to do anything tomorrow with this. But yeah, I want to whip this up real quick. I'm gonna save a few panels to mattress stitch with y'all on live. And that's about it, because mm-mm, I'm losing interest. And I want to make a continuous blanket at this point. What you mean? Oh, it's fine. It is totally fine. I swear I've wanted to turn all of these panels into a scarf because it wouldn't be hard. I can go back, leave the design the way it is, and crochet a border, and they won't curl. And I can be like, forget this blanket, and I can say awesomely that I just made 4 scarves. Like, who want them? Because that's what I'm about to say. I'm about to say these are scarves. If it gives me trouble, they're gonna be scarves. Cause so trust me, I take no offense. I don't take no offense at all from it. Like I'm ready to be done with these. Like they're starting to get on my nerves. But yeah, I can crochet a border like so fast. And nobody's gonna bat an eye about the different way it's made, because they're just gonna want one scarf and a hat. I just gotta make a hat to go with it, and then I can celebrate myself for getting like 10 things done. And y'all, right now, I'm talking myself out of that blanket. I'm talking myself out of it right now. So it's starting to sound so nice to just make some scarves and put some hats with them and be like, "Ooh, Valentine's Day sale." It is sounding really nice. And I'm like, maybe. Right, exactly. Small projects. And I'm doing like about 7 small projects in the background. And they're half of them are crochet. Well, most of them are crochet. I'm only loom knitting a hat. But and then I'm loom knitting this, but everything else is crochet, and I'm trying to get all of that done. I was fighting with these before I got on live, so I'm doing like some cross stitch patches that I gotta sew on two beanies, and I got like 6 of those to do. Six of the cross stitch patches, so it's something. But yeah, that's I just sold myself into some scarves. I'm so tempted to be like, yeah, let's just do that. I can move scarves quicker than I can move a one blanket. Oh, that sounds cute and fun. I have not quite. I don't like changing colors. I need to find someone's pattern that makes changing colors seamless. And when you're doing like a pattern of a picture or something, because I'm struggling with changing colors on crochet. So everything that I do is, once I make the crochet project, I have to go back and make those panels that you just saw. I have to go back and crochet little small panels and cross stitch my design on, and then turn around and sew it back onto the project to try and make it blend in as best as I can. But yeah, so that's like extra work, but I also like that it kind of feels like it's my signature. So I don't necessarily want to get rid of it, but I still would like to master how to change colors in the right areas when you're making like designs in your project. Like changing colors is not hard. Like, vertical changing colors is not difficult. It's just, doing a straight line color change, or, doing a happy face and all that stuff, or doing a heart or something like that, I want to be able to do it all at one point and not constantly have to do the cross stitching. Now I don't remember what number. Okay, this three, three, four, five. Okay, go back up. Let me see how many stitches I have on here before I move. So this 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So I'm almost at 50. I think I got enough stitch markers to get up to 50. So I'm just going to keep putting them in. I just got to remember, don't go over 10 more, and try to remember to exchange them out. Yes, and it happens every live. I don't, yeah, I think it happens every live, except for maybe one time. I made, I went over the amount of stitches I was supposed to go over. I meant go to for my first panel. So I ended up with like 188 stitches at the end of it. Um, and so then I did my second panel, and it turned out to be way longer than my first one. So I had to go back and recount it and take some stitches off so it can be the same length as the first one. And then I was able to get the third one fine. Then last night, I did it again. I went over it by 10. So I had to put stitch markers on all my pegs, take it off the loom, and slowly go back 10 rows. And it's hard to see with the blanket yarn. And slowly go back 10 rows. And I was just like, oh, I did it again. So that's why I'm trying to make sure tonight that I don't have that incident again, because it's not fun. Four weight is not as bad, but it's not fun taking number 6 yarn off the loom and then casting it back on. And all last night I kept saying, wait, what number I'm on? So my mind wasn't there really mentally, because I'm like, wait, I keep losing count at 3 and 4. And I'm like, did I just say 5? So yeah, I was on one last night. No, I almost forgot this row. I think it's 3. Let's see. I'm gonna have to count, because I should have been saying the number out loud. You remember better psychologically. You remember better when you say things out loud. So I try to not just think it, because a lot of the stuff that I, think, I'm just like, you know, it's scooting, it's skating by. So it's better to say things out loud so I can actually hear it and think it. So it's like a double dose. Okay, the last set, I'm in last row is 3. This is 4. Are you sure? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, I am. I kind of forgot. Yeah. So I had to double check. But I'd rather be constantly recounting 1 through 5 than constantly recounting 50 or 60 or 100. So, you know, it's a nice little trade off. All right, that is, yeah, that's 5. I'm trying to remember if this is this 50. And then I work at a school, so but as I'm counting as well, you really should like going live. Like I'm a my social anxiety is like horrible, and 2020 it was yeah, I could say it was even worse. Like per se on live, like I couldn't really go live. So one day I was just like, forget it. I'm just gonna go live. I'm not gonna overthink it. My first live was crazy. Wasn't nobody hardly in there, but like what I was doing resin, and wasn't no one hardly in there. So that was discouraging. But the more I kept doing it, the more people came in. Then I found out what they like, and then a lot more came in, and so they brought me out of my shell because they were, for people to, because I've never really been on live. Like my face, it's rarely on live, and so that's another good thing. You don't necessarily have to show your face on live, but the I was feeling like people were getting to know me for me, not for what I look like or whatever. So, I was drawing attention for what I was doing and my personality. And so that helped boost my confidence over time. So it benefited me more than the potential hurt that I knew it could cause. So think about it like that. It'll help you come out of your shell, be more confident, if you try it. It's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. No, there's 45. So yeah, I I was jumping the. I don't want to say the other words. I'm just gonna say jumping the broom there a little bit. Even though I know jumping the broom means getting married, but yeah, I'd rather say that than the typical word that they say. Yeah, that too. Definitely going live with other people helps out a lot too. That would help a lot too. Cause then you guys can sit up and have a conversation. Nobody has to necessarily say anything in the comments. Cause y'all can always talk to each other. And y'all can be there and supporting each other. It's really nice to have a co-host during lives for some people. Most of my lives, some of them the comments go fast, and I'm like, because my ADHD, I'm usually like this, so I'm trying to keep up with the comments, and so it really hurts me to like per se have an unplanned guest because for me, I'm gonna automatically keep responding to the comments because they're going so fast and I'm trying to keep up. And I'm not trying to be rude to the other person, but I'm also teaching, so it's hard for me to like see the comments kind of move and not respond quickly. Like, excuse me, I gotta say something real quick, you know. So it's harder for me in those instances. But if it was more of a planned thing, I can like kind of plan it out where, you know, she kind of the other person would kind of give me a pause a little bit, you know, to kind of catch the comments and everything. But yeah, it'll have to be something well planned out for me. Yeah, me too, Ebony. Like I'm I'm not a big picture taker. Well, I will take them and mostly just keep them to myself. I don't do a whole lot of posting of my. I've started doing more videos of me in the camera, but that's because the audience prefers it. So I'm just like, I have to be in front of the camera on the videos because I'm not gonna show up on the lives. Like there's like a 5 to 10% that you would ever see me in front of the camera on live. So I have to show my face on my feed so they'll have some type of, you know, connection between there. But yeah, that was a struggle too. Talking was a struggle. I couldn't stand hearing my voice on the playback. When I was editing videos, that would bother me. So then I just cut all my sound out and just play music. But then it got annoying because then I have to type all the captions on the screen, and I'm just like, this is too much work. I need to start using my voices more. Oh, you on late at night? So yeah, listening to my voice, seeing me in front of the camera, worried about people like talking, you know, saying negative things about my looks and all that stuff. And just in general, and this all comes from like trauma. So yeah, like I've been there. I get it. I definitely get it. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Cause I sure be like, dang it. I be in the bed. It's rare, but it happens kind of often, maybe once or once every 2 weeks or something like that. I end up staying like this week. I think this week I stayed up to like 3 o'clock in the morning, and that's just laying in bed with no phone on, you know, TV going, but I'm not watching the TV. I'm trying to go to sleep, and I need the TV. And then last week or week before last, I was literally up for until like 6 o'clock in the morning. I fell asleep for about an hour, and then I got back up to. I think I went to work that day, and I had only had an hour or an hour and a half of sleep. So that's been happening a lot lately. So I need to figure out what's going on with it because I've been up late. Right. Yeah, like now I don't even care. I'll actually get up on the camera, but the issue right now is that people have gotten so used to looking down at the loom, having like a POV, that it's hard for me to get up in front of the camera now because they want to see what the loom is doing. So that's the only reason why now I don't get on the camera because, you know, right now it should be natural for me to go live with me on the camera because I'm um I'm on the videos all the time. So, but yeah, back then, well, a couple of years ago, yeah, I didn't want to really hear nothing about nobody talking about me. But like I said, that's from trauma. Is trauma related and all that. So you know, I done worked through that part. I don't mind being seen. All right, let's see. I think I lost count. That's one, two. Thank you, Yarn Words. I appreciate that. There's four. That looks like four. One more, I think this would be 50. So now the the other positive thing about using yarn as your row counter is that you can just pull it right out. Like it's there's like ASMR when you do it too. So a POV ASMR. So instead of the way I just pulled it out of here, this will like just help you along through your projects. It's just nice. I just like sometimes I like pulling it, out of there like that or something. It pulls out much easier. But and I've done a few videos that way. Oh, no problem, Ebony. So this, I'm gonna pull this out. Try to carefully pull it out without snatching anything. It's been hard kind of pulling these out. I think that's why I didn't use them in the first place. Cause yarn, I could just lay it down there real quick and just keep moving and just slide it back out when I'm done. But I just, this just more sturdy, so that's the reason why I pulled these out today. But they kind of sometimes pinch my yarn when I'm pulling it off, so that's annoying. I like the lobster class. I'm making flat panels to mattress stitch into a blanket. And trying to avoid not turning them into scarves. Yeah, so. All right, so I pulled all of those out. We're gonna put a stitch marker right here. Y'all got about 50 more minutes. I try to do it at the top of the hour, but I got sidetracked. So yeah, that's looks like that's right. I'm gonna move these over to the side. Uh-oh, flinging. Yeah. Um, I typically don't make blankets on here. I have a lot of different other looms, and I got two. I got an infinity loom and a Afghan loom, so they make really big projects. And I normally don't make blankets on here. I'm really doing it out of curiosity. But I was saying that because I actually I like using this loom to make scarves with. This is my favorite scarf making loom. Cause on here, you can do double knit and you don't have to do anything after. You could just knot the yarn in, thread it, and be done. Like that's your scarf. And so I love double knit looms. Now I gotta figure out how to double knit on the KB Afghan loom or the Infinity one too, either one. That's one. Wrapping backwards again. That's one thing about me. Like I've tried to say, because of the ADHD, I am a creature of habit. This whole time I've been using this loom, I have not wrapped the loom backwards in any of these panels. But earlier tonight, I accidentally wrapped the peg backwards. And that's the second time I wrapped them backwards tonight. That when I just did it. So I have to work it back out my brain to like to wrap right. It's like the joys of having, you know, of dealing with your ADHD. It's like, yeah. So once I started doing a motion, because I'm not really thinking about what I'm doing, because I've been doing it for so long. And once I started doing the motion, it kind of gets locked in, and I gotta rewire. I had to rewire my brain because one night I kept wrapping the first E stitch because I typically skip it if I'm doing all E stitch. I skip the first one, and so one night I accidentally wrapped the first one in the row, and I didn't realize I had did it until after I knitted off everything, and then I did it a second time, and then I'm like, wait, you know, I feel something's wrong. I'm doing something. Then I'm like, oh, I unwrapped it twice again. So I took that row apart, and then I did it for a third time that night. But it rarely happens when I do it. But that night it did like 3 times. I did like 3 times. I don't. I have a control issue. I know I keep saying like, you know, perfection, crafty perfectionist. I really have, when it comes to craft, I'm very OCD. And so I don't I when I'm using it, it drives me nuts that it drops stitches. So I feel like I babysit them too much to really enjoy them. Hey Fatima, how are you? I babysit my knitting machines too much. I'm like, don't you dare drop a peg. And so other people, it frustrates me that it takes other people an hour and a half to make a hat on a knitting machine, and then me it takes 4 hours. So I'm like, where am I saving the time? Oh, thank you for the hearts. I'm like, where is this time everybody's saving that I'm not getting any of? One, two, three. Is that three? Yep, that's three. All right, this is four. I need to figure out another thing to say for four. I know I said four for four earlier. I'll figure out something. All right, this should be 5 because I'm about to get stuck on saying 4. Oh, no, no, no. I hate when it does that. Crap. Let's see if I can pull it back some more. Okay, go to this end. And then I'm a big music fan, y'all. I had to figure out something to do in the background for my um for my lives because it's just so peaceful to have something in the background. It makes my work more efficient, and I'm struggling to not like sing because to fill the space or the void or the silence. And yeah, because I'm a big karaoke fan, so I'm just like, "Rrr." Right, you can focus more, zone in, zone out, everything. You zone out of the background noise and you zone in to like your project. It just so so much better. Like that's why I don't understand about schools. Like why is there no music? Like a natural play of music in the background, not just, music class. Music is therapy. So, yeah, it would help a lot, I think. You can? I might try that. I really do need to find a sound though. Cause it don't even matter, like, cause even if it's just like some just instrumental music, it would keep me from thinking about other music to sing. So that would help out a lot. Yeah. So one year I was teaching, like I was literally a teacher, and they got upset because we were in art. I was teaching art, and they got upset because the students were listening to their music while they did art. I'm like, um, okay, art and music goes together. That's what I would think. And they might have been listening to music because they had headphones in. They may have been listening to music they probably had no business listening to, but at the same time, they're gonna listen to that at home. And I'm not like just hardcore encouraging it, because I would tell them, if I heard it, then they need to cut it down and all this stuff, or they'll need to change. I would recommend that they change their music that they're listening to. But essentially, they're gonna listen to that at home. That's how they get in the zone or whatever. So I was doing that, and like my room got literally like the principal came and she's like, what are they doing? They shouldn't have headphones in, blah 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 blah. I'm just like, this is art, you know. This is wild, but whatever, I'll just do what you want me to do. Yeah, it's like it turned me off like of teaching. Like I'm still working at a school right now, but I'm doing subbing, and like both principals I was under, they weren't nice. But I digress, and I understand that you need to be stern or whatever you need to be, but there's a thin line between what you're doing and being productively stern or whatever. But anyway, I'm gonna leave that alone. But yeah, I still work at the school, and so when I sub with them, I actually put it on music in their class. So when the teacher's not there, I put music on, and they enjoy it. They don't get loud. They sing some songs, and I put it on piano versions. That way, I'm not, if they don't know the song, I'm not introducing them to something that they might not supposed to be listening to. But I put it on modern or pop music piano play, and so if they know the song, they'll sing to it, and if they don't, they don't. So I'm not putting like lyrics and things on them. They're just listening to keys play. But yeah, I let them listen to music when the teacher's not there, and it helps with production, their productivity, because you know that's what music typically does to people in general. So I don't know, I don't never understand it. They tell you to do wraparound education where kids are struggling in reading, so we're gonna make sure that they read something in art, make sure they read something in gym, make sure they read something in whatever other pullout that they have. And so we want to wrap that around, but why we can't put the music in other class? We put the kind of put the art in other class forms because they get the color and all that stuff, but why not the music? Have that be a part of the curriculum, or have it like playing something down the hallway, because they're gonna get loud and stuff down the hallway. If you just play some type of soft music in the hallway to you know, get them through the hallway, I think it would be less noisier if they had something to direct their mind to. That's fire. Like that was fire. One, 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 one. 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. I probably shouldn't have said that. Or I probably could say 1, 2, buckle my shoe. Three, triplet, triple. I almost felt for a second I was wrapping backwards again. We're doing a 444. 444. Give me a high five. 5 in the high. Stitch marker. One. No. Hello, train. 2, 2, 1, 2. Twins. 2. 3. 1, 2, 3. 3. Triplet. Is this one come down? Yep, hold on. This one came off some. Hold on, which one goes? That one goes right there. Come on, let me put that back on. I'm on. Right. Right. I swear. I'm glad we're not so close as the other house down the street, cause we're like a block or so away from the train tracks, and we still get the slight vibration from the train. 3. I just did 3. L-M-N-O-P. I just did 3. Plucker. 4. Just finished 4. Y'all got about 30 more minutes. And this is Cinco. 5. Cinco de Mayo. I can't say the 2 I really want to say because it came from off of Bob's Burgers. I think that was 5. I said Cinco. Wow, that's crazy. And then some of them be a big interruption, like they just blare the horn repeatedly, so loud for so long. And sometimes I get startled up out of my sleep. So I'm like, what's going on? Is there an emergency or something? When they're like blowing it like a very long time. I'm just like, oh gosh. I almost hate it's a through street right there. It's two through streets that go through where the train goes. And I'm just like, so that's mainly why they're blowing is because there's a crossing. It's annoying. It's actually 3 crossings. Now that I think about it, there are kind of back to back to back. Right, exactly. One day, one was so loud that we're like, is there a special train coming through or something? Because this train is the loudest we've ever heard a train. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is loud. Like, if there's a park, our town has a park right beside the tracks. And so it is so inconvenient to have like a park, have a get together out there because it gets very loud with the trains coming by. It's ridiculous. It is. It is. I'm like, whose bright idea? But then when you think about it, back in the day, trains were a very attractive thing. So I can see it back in the day, but this day and age, I'm just like, "Rrr." And then we're in one of those cities where the train stops the traffic, like almost the traffic of the whole town. Pretty much, the train stops the traffic. We don't have like a underpass of the train or anything. And you would think of after so many years, because the my hometown is a very small town, and it's not too far from the town that I live in, and we have one. We have underground roads that goes under the train tracks. So I'm just like, shouldn't you guys have gotten underground roads by now? Because if there were a ambulance trying to get through here, you would be stopping the ambulance from getting where they need to go, and then it would cause a medical emergency. So I'm just trying to figure out why, after all these years, do you not have a underpass for your trains? Yeah, it gets ridiculous. Sometimes we're almost late for school because the train gets stopped on the train tracks in the early in the morning. And this happens at least every 2 weeks. The train gets stuck on the tracks during school during school transportation time. So it's a pretty big inconvenience. Okay. One, two, two, three, four, five. That's why I thought it was five. So I was about to say I need to put another one on another row on there. Also, that's why I brought up the school thing. Earlier, while I was counting, and every time I say five, my brain starts to say 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Because we go over fives in first grade. And so I play it for them often when I'm there. Well, just know that if I'm there like 3 days that week, I play it for them doing math, but not like repeatedly, just one a day. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm overthinking it again, but yeah, that song been stuck in my head while I've been sitting here counting. I've been trying to avoid saying 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever. Especially since I had to count by fives when counting the rows, then switch back to count by ones when I'm sectioning off. Two. Where did Okay, the stitch mark the same color. I gotta be careful. All right, that's 2. 3. I should wear my neck pillow. 4. Right. But you know, you can double up on you can double up the number 4 yarn and do the same thing. So you don't have to necessarily have both the yarns. Let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I had forgot that fast. I'm trying to make sure I don't go over. Which I'm kind of far from 50, so let me just chill and just keep working. I have an idea when it gets too long and I'm like, this looks way longer than what it's supposed to be. So I'm just gonna roll like that. Stop overthinking certain spots. There's 1. Just how I loom it when I'm focused. I'm trying to see how many stitches I can get in before it's time to go. Two, 3, I would try to be there. What days you planning on going? Make sure I write your name down. Yeah, I got about 10 minutes, and I just lost count. I think this is five though. I almost left that one off. Yep, that's five. Okay, in the evening or the morning or afternoon, I need to say. Okay, cool. That's right before I go to mine, so I can stop by for some time. I usually start crafting my day, getting my head right around 5 o'clock. So yeah, that'll work perfectly fine. Especially Thursday. I'm not doing anything on Thursday, but I do need to figure out some days to go live. I um right now Saturday is good here, but I'm trying to find another day, a second day to go live on, but I don't know yet. I think it'll have to be like on a day that I go to work and I don't have to go to work the next day. And so what I'm thinking is probably gonna have to be like a Monday or Wednesday, and that way I know I'm not gonna go in on a third Tuesday or Thursday. That's awesome, Lycra. I'm in love with these colors. I'm not a big red person, but I like red. But yeah, these colors are like everything. I was like I should have made a cardigan out of it. Cause I could put some pink hearts in it, and. But I'm getting ready to get some red yarn too, so I may be able to solve that and throw a little regular red in here with, because I know this is burgundy. If I mix a little bit of bright red in there, y'all think that'll work? If I have any of this left over, I don't think I'm gonna have any of this left over. I think I'm gonna be able to make um just just enough pegs I mean panels to put these together. I think that this is gonna stop at 7 panels. Like I even if I wanted to go wider, I couldn't. I had to be very strategic with this yarn because um I got three. I'm gonna have three extra little skeins of yarn about this size, of what I'll have left over because I caked this earlier, and so this is like it's kind of tight, so it's kind of compact just a little. But I have another skein that's gonna be this size, and once I work through this one, it's gonna be this size too. So it's just gonna be just enough to make that the 7 panel. But I want to point out that when I do it all, when I do the baby blanket all in one sitting, it doesn't typically take um a full 3 skeins of yarn. This one is gonna take a full 3 skeins of yarn, and I'm not under. And I think it's because I accidentally went over the length I was supposed to go over. But at the same time, the blanket is not gonna be as wide as it normally is. So I don't know. It's gonna be like almost 3 feet wide. I typically do 3 feet wide, so that's why I'm trying to figure out why is it, using up so much yarn. But you know, it'll be all right. And to stitch this together after the fact, I am going to use cotton yarn to do so. That's one, two, three. I'm not gonna use the blanket yarn to do it. I'm gonna use cotton yarn to do it because it'll be more sturdier. I think I got an idea. I think this is four. One, two, three. One, two, three, four. This is five. All right, for right now, because I know I'm not gonna get a whole lot done in like 3 minutes. I'm not gonna worry about how many rows I'm about to do. See how fast I work when I don't have to think about what I have to do next. I have to stop and count, stop and count. Did I count? Did I not count? Did I count too many times? How far have I ran off? and I did 4 like that fast in like 3 minutes. So when I don't have to think about it, I'm gonna go ahead and do this one row because it'll be 5, and I want to put a stitch marker right here. I don't want to have to count it when I come back. I might finish this one up tomorrow. Move on to the last one. Put a stitch mark on here. But thank you guys so much. I'm getting ready to get off here because I gotta go to church in the morning, and so I'll have to call it a night indefinitely. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will hopefully see you guys here again on next Saturday. My thing. This one is tighter than this one. I have them on different wrists for different sizes. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate everyone. Hope to see you guys on next Saturday. But I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here and check you guys later.